Jai Guruji. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Shukrana, Shukrana, Shukrana Guru Sahib, Shukrana for giving me this agya to share my satsang in English today. Every time he asks me to share a satsang, there is always a blessing behind the sharing of satsang. So, Guru Sahib, if I say something wrong, please forgive me. Sangatji, please forgive me if I say something wrong. Guru Sahib, be with me, guide me into whatever you want me to share. Be with me, and it's always in your agya. Jai Guruji. Sangatji, I would, Guru Maharaj has blessed me in many ways. In 94, he's blessed me with many lives. In 94, that was 2nd July, it was 4:50 in the morning, I woke up, and as soon as I woke up, I was going into deep tunnel. It was very dark. I kept going, and all of a sudden the light comes and I wake up. I opened my eyes. We were all in a car accident, very, very bad car accident. I guess Guru Maharaj had sent me back to give me another life, because I guess I had my journey to be, I had to go ahead with my journey. I had to do my seva, which he was giving me another chance in my life. I saw my husband, his feet were hanging. My daughter was airlifted. She was 3 months old. My son was 4-year-old, Manu. My daughter Shreya, she was 3 months old, 2 months and 22 days old. My husband, his legs were hanging outside the van, and I didn't know what had happened. My daughter was airlifted. My husband was airlifted. My son has minor injuries in his elbows. And they wanted me to straighten me out because I was thrown out of the van, which was driving at 95 miles an hour. I had all glasses over my eyes, my head, my body was completely crooked. They wanted to straighten out my leg, my body, and I said, no, wait till the paramedics come. When they came, they straightened out my body, they cut my clothes, and I had no idea where I was. After a day of me being in the hospital, going through all different tests, they transferred me to another hospital where supposedly my husband and my daughter were supposed to meet me. But the pilot of the helicopter with paramedics, he had flown Sanjeev to Charlottesville, and Shreya was in Richmond. This is the time Guru Maharaj had blessed me with a life, which maybe it was a second, third, but according to me, it was a second life or the third life, which he was giving me and giving me a chance to become a better person. When we had this accident, this is a life-turning incident, but before that, I had another life. I would just share a little bit in brief that Guru Sahib was there with me, which we don't realize, but his blessings, and he was always there with me since I was born. I was the first grandchild of my dad's side. So since I was born, my grandmother made me keep fasting for Satyanarayan Vrat. Since I was born till I got married, I fasted every month for Satyanarayan Puja. Shukrana Malik. I think Guru Sahib knew what my life was, because what I had heard from old Sangat is a child picks a soul, picks their parents. And I don't think I would have ever asked for better parents than what he had blessed me with. Papa, Mummy, if they wouldn't have been there with me in the form of Guruji, I am what I am today is because of Guru Sahib blessing and with my parents' support. I was my dad's favorite. I lost my dad last year, that's why I'm getting a little emotional. I was the blessed child. I was very favorite of my dad, and my dad used to always spoil me, and he used to always say that anything, whenever Anu gets married, we don't know what her life is going to be. So if I used to say I want a pair of pants or a pair of shoes or what, I would get 4 pairs. He used to spoil me. And again, Shukrana Malika. He was my biggest support. He was a former Guruji. He was always with me, my parents, both of them. When I was supposed to get married, we used to do Mata Ki Choki, and I always had a connection with God. At that time I was connected with Mata Rani. We used to do Mata Ki Choki. Never fasted for Somvar because people used to fast for Mondays, but I never fasted. It was his way of blessing. He had connected me to God. Every time I used to see people, with the kripan and with the pagdi, and they always had a guru, and I always wanted to dharan a guru, just to be, you have guru in my life. So my parents used to say, it's very difficult. Not everybody can do it. You cannot have a guru like that. But that was my craving since I was a kid. I grew up, and when I was going to get married, he had planned my life because Guru Sahib made me meet Sanjeev. My life was going on. Papa was in Air Force, and I was spoiled, as I told you earlier. The blessings were always there with me. Anytime I wanted something, I got it. I got the best education. And when it was time to get married, met Sanjeev in my cousin's wedding, and he first saw me and he said, "This is the girl I want to get married." And I was like, "Wow, I'm not ready." But and then my dad had asked me, "Do you want to get married? You want to go to New York?" He was in New York, and I was like, "Papa, whatever you decide." And in my heart, never asked that I want to get married to Sanjeev. I only prayed to Mata Rani at that time that whatever you decide will be the best. If you want me to get married to Sanjeev, I will get married. And my dad at that point used to say, if something happens to Anu in America, what are we going to do? I guess his soul knew that what my future is. So he never wanted me to come this far. From him, my brother and my dad, both of them, they used to say, if anything happens to Anu, how are we going to fly to New York? How are we going to, that's too far. But I guess the destiny prevails. I was meant to meet Sanjeev. We got married. Finally, my dad decided that, Sanjeev is a good man or whatever, and, got married to a beautiful family. It was a joint family, which I never wanted, but Guru Maharaj again blessed me in the joint family. I was spoiled there again, as I was the first daughter-in-law. Best in-laws in my family, anybody could even think of. Like my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, they were like the best, and all his chachas, everybody used to spoil me. I got pregnant with Manu in 89, and we didn't want the child because we were still in India and we were supposed to come here. I didn't get my green card at that point. Guru Maharaj knew what he had to bless me and when he had to bless me, because I didn't even know I was pregnant, and I used to see snakes every time we went out, there used to be snakes in the garden or anywhere, and I found shivlings. And I used to, pour water, and everybody used to say, why does it happen with you? Why do you see shivling? Why do you see snakes? And maybe you had some, you must have asked for something from God in which you didn't fulfill, and I didn't know. And I didn't know how life was going. And when I was pregnant with Manu, I used to see snakes, little baby snakes. Anytime I would fall asleep, baby snakes going all over my bed, on the walls. Anytime, the entire 9 months, I used to see snakes in my dreams. And my nanny used to say, you'll have a boy. And I was like, old people, they always want a boy. I don't want a boy, I want a girl. But let me share with you one thing I forgot is when I was pregnant with Manu, we wanted to get the baby aborted. And my mother-in-law was like, no, you have to have the baby. You cannot get the baby aborted. Because after her marriage of 8 or 9 years and so much of praying and everything, my husband was born, and she didn't want me to go through that. So we tried everything. We went to Haridwar, we went to Missouri, we went to Kashmir. I rode the horses. I took dip in Ganges, Ganga, in Haridwar, climbed the hills, did anything that maybe I'll have a miscarriage. But Guru Maharaj knew that what my future is going to be. So he wanted Manu to be in my life. And he was there. Nothing happened to him. Finally, I had Manu on 31st March. Sanjeev was in US. Manu was born. Manu was 2 months and 22 days old when Sanjeev held Manu for the first time in US. That's when Manu came to US. Sangaji, as I told you, Shreya, when we had this accident, Shreya was 2 months and 22 days old. Until today, I don't know. The only thing I can think about is what time Sanjeev missed with Manu. That is the time he was blessing him with Shreya. Again, Guru Maharaj taught me a lesson not to ask for anything. I asked. When I was pregnant with Shreya, the only thing I prayed to Mata Rani at that time was, give me a daughter. If I have a son, I'm going to leave him in the hospital and I will never come back. I will never bring the baby home. I will just leave him in the hospital. I have to have a daughter. I would let my daughter, my son also pray, Mata Rani, give me a sister, give me a bhena. And every single day, that was my prayer to Mata Rani, that no matter what, I don't want a son, I want a daughter. I asked, do whatever you want, I want a daughter. Doctors had told me to have an abortion because I didn't have a couple of my vaccinations. So they had told me to get the baby aborted, and I said, no, I think this is a daughter, girl. If I get the baby aborted, maybe I'll have, the next one will be a boy. I guess this was an indication that she was meant to be or not meant to be, I don't know. I asked for the baby girl. Shreya was born on April 10th, 94. Before that, I just forgot to share was Guru Maharaj reminded me now, after I don't know how many years, 25, 30 years, that he was with me at that time also. When my mother-in-law expired, passed away in January of 94, I was pregnant with Shreya, and doctors did not allow me to go to India for her last rites. So my husband Sanjeev had gone, and me, Shreya, and Manu, we were not Shreya, sorry, I was pregnant with Shreya. Me and Manu were alone in New York. All night, Sangaji, every time I would sleep, I would see somebody behind our head pillow, behind the bed, a person standing in yellow suit, a yellow chola or yellow suit. At that point, I used to think that Sanjeev's mother, mommy, comes, visits me because she used to love Manu and she used to love me. So maybe she's worried about me, and that's the reason she's coming here to visit. I used to cry, not sleep all night. The whole house lights used to be on, entire house. I used to leave the lights on, lock my bedroom door, sleep so that nobody comes in. But I would, as soon as I would open my eyes, I would see the person walking away behind my head through the door out. And I would cry every night that somebody comes here every single night. I guess Guru Maharaj reminded me after I got connected to Guru Sahib that it was him who was at that time with me, watching over me, Manu, and my little baby who was not even born yet. When Shreya was born, Shukrana Malika, Shukrana, 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 I think at that point, I had that ego in myself, and he was taking it away in a form. I was just 27 years old. We were married for 5 years. And I used to think, I used to be very proud. I have a daughter, I have a son, Sanjeev has his own pharmacy. I don't need anybody in my life. That's it. I'm the happiest person. We were selling our house, getting a bigger house. Our house was on sale. Sanjeev was doing very well. Anytime I wanted to go on vacation, we would go. For New Year's, I would say, let's go to California, book tickets in an hour, go to California. I wanted to go to any island, I would go. Like anything I wanted in my life, I was getting. And I was like, you have that ego in yourself that, wow, I don't need anything else. I don't need anybody in my life. I don't need anybody. I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with my kids, my husband. And I guess I had that ego in myself. And Guru Sahib had to slap me on my face. That was a teaching phase in my life, a changing. It was like 360-degree turn when we had this accident. And Guru Sahib, in the form of Sai Baba, came into my life. I guess he was holding my hand, but he was testing me. First is for Mata Rani. I used to believe in Mata Rani. And then one day my cousin in the hospital, she comes and she gives me Science Satcharita. And she said, Anu, I think this was meant for you because it was for somebody else and the person didn't come and take it. So this is meant for you. Read this every day if you can. So I used to finish within 24 hours one book, the whole entire book, Science Satcharita, in 3 days, in 2 days, in 7 days. I was reading it as if it was like my granth, the main granth, which was teaching me patience, which was connecting me to Guru Sahib in the form of Baba. Shukrana, Shukrana, Shukrana Guru Sahib for giving me that chance. I must have done something this much little nice in my past life that he was holding my hand. When we had this accident, Shreya, I was on the main floor. You know, I was bleeding internally, and the doctors wanted to do surgeries on me, and I was like, no, I don't want to do surgeries. I was too scared, so they had put me on a hard board, and no moving. They had given me a morphine pump, and I used to curse them out because I was in so much pain. But every 3 minutes it used to work. I used to tell them, turn me, turn me. Nobody would turn me because they had to stop my bleeding internally. They had to stabilize me. My parents, like, can you believe it, Sangaji? My parents didn't even have a passport. They got their passport made within 3 days. They got their visa. They were here in New York within 10 days. They didn't even know about my accident. They just knew we had minor injuries and they didn't know anything about the accident. Before even my parents came, the doctors came to me. I used to ask them every day about my husband and Shreya. They used to say, everybody's fine, don't worry, your husband is in pain. Nobody was telling me anything about anything. Shreya, they came to me like 2-3 days before my parents were coming, after a week or something. They came to me and they told me that you have to make a decision on your daughter. I was like, every day you were telling me, my daughter is fine, and now you're telling me that I have to make a decision. They had taken some consent from me to do her surgeries on her brain. At that point, I wasn't even stable. Whatever they were asking me to do, I was doing it. My daughter was on the 7th floor, and I must be on the 2nd or the 3rd floor. I was a little stable. So when I went and saw my daughter, she was like open transistor, like an open stereo with all the wires all over her head. The whole face was blue, eyes was blue, and I almost like passed out. I was holding her there in my hand, and they told me to make a decision to let her go. Because she'll be a vegetable. She won't be able to see. She won't be able to eat. She won't be able to walk. She won't be able to talk. So it's no point keeping her alive. Let her go. She'll be blind. They told me all kinds of the worst things in the world. I guess that was my testing phase. I didn't give up. I said, I cannot make the decision. If I cannot give anybody life, I cannot take anybody's life. I have to ask my husband. They said, your husband is not in a position to, make a decision. I didn't know. So they said, said, you have to make a decision now. So I said, give me some time. Let my parents come here and see my daughter. And I'll ask my husband and then we'll decide. I was debating. Every day I was reading Science Satcharita. I had no idea what was going on in my life. I guess Guru Sahib, through Baba's Science Satcharita, was teaching me how to be strong, how to have faith, how to have patience, not to blame anybody. It was my karmas which I was going through. I had no clue what was going on in my life. So by the time I decided, okay, maybe I should let her go, they tried to take off the ventilator, Sangaji. Shreya started breathing on her own. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji, Shukrana, Shukrana, Shukrana Malik. Until today, I don't know if I made the right decision or wrong decision. I have no idea. I have no idea. Only thing I can say is Shreya has been the biggest blessing in my life. She's been a teaching source in my life that I'm learning so much from her. Guru Sahib changed all the results of Shreya. She can see, even I can see. Even a hair, a thin hair on the ground, she can see, and she says, can you clean that up? Can you pick that up? She sings Guru Sahib's Shabad. She wants to hear all his satsangs. She knows artis. She, like, Guru Sahib changed all her results. She can walk. She can talk. Yes, she has some health issues. She went through a couple of surgeries. In 96, 97, 98, she had 3 major surgeries. She had a major surgery in 90. She had a couple of surgeries in 94. I had no clue. Doctors, I was like only saying Shukrana, and everybody used to tell me you should let her go. A couple of people had told me, give her in an anath ashram, where people, you just give your child away. And I was like, no, I'm not giving my child away. I have to keep my child. I have to take care of her. It was Papa who taught me not to give up. Every single day, he used to take me on my wheelchair to Sanjeev's hospital. He used to drive to Shreya's hospital, to her rehab. He would massage her, talk to her. He was not giving up. That's one thing which Papa taught me. I think Guru Sahib was teaching me through Papa. Not to give up in your life. Have trust in your Rab. Have trust in your God. Papa had taught me one thing in my life. Before we were leaving the hospital, while we were in the hospital, he had visited me before I was getting discharged. He said, Anu, from today, you have a new life. You have other responsibilities to take. It's your decision. Nobody will force you to your decision. You have to decide what you have to do in your life. Now, from today onwards, it's between you and your Rab, you and your God. There is nobody else in your life. You cry in front of your God. You talk to your God. You don't talk to anybody else. If you're going to laugh, you're going to laugh with people, but you're going to cry only with your God, not in front of anybody else. No complaints, because people like gossip. Now the connection is between you and your Rab, you and your God. I think that was the best lesson Guru Sahib was giving me through my Papa. I still feel Papa was in my life in the form of Guru Sahib, because he taught me everything, what I'm learning from all the satsangs, all, Shiv Puran and everything I'm reading. And he's teaching me all these things. And now I think Papa had taught me all those things since I was a child. My life was changing. Shreya she started breathing on her own. And when I was ready to be discharged, they had discharged me. My Papa and Mummy were there. They were making me stable. And when I was being discharged to go to Sanjeev's hospital, we all left and went to Sanjeev's hospital. And Sanjeev's hospital, they won't let me see him because they had a panel of meeting with all the doctors and the priests and everybody. And they had said, now I have to make a decision on Sanjeev. They had to say, I had to decide. They wanted me to let Sanjeev go because now they had found out that Shreya is living and I have responsibility of Shreya. So they had told me I won't be able to take care of 2 handicapped people in my life because Sanjeev is going to be on a ventilator. He's going to be in a nursing home. He's going to be a vegetable. He won't be able to talk. He won't be able to sit. He'll be on 100% oxygen. His lungs were half dead. He had ARDS. That was respiratory syndrome, adult respiratory syndrome, where half of the lungs were dead. So, and his diaphragm wasn't working. He had a C4-5 spinal cord injury, which was completely cut. And he was on a bed at that point. They didn't even let me see him. So they said it's best for him to go. I said, can I see him? I went to see Sanjeev. I came back and I told them, I said, can you please let him live? I don't want him to go. I will take care of him. Again, it was I, which Guru Sahib taught me in my life. I'm nobody. Again, I said, I will take care of him. I will take him home. Which was again wrong. Which was Guru Sahib was, again, it was my test again, and he was testing me. I saw him. I came out. He was asking me with his eyes. It was 1 blink, yes, 2 blinks now. He had tubes in his mouth. He was on a revolving bed. He had 150 pounds hanging on his head to keep his spine stable. His body was swollen. He was like 400 pounds because he was on a lot of steroids. He was asking with my eyes, asking for the kids. I lied to him. Everybody's fine. They're waiting for you. I did not have courage to tell him about Shreya. I came out. I cried and cried and cried. And at that time, I was connected to Baba. And I cried and Mata Rani. And I was screaming in the corridor and I prayed. Again, I asked. I said, please do not take my husband. Let him live. I will take care of him. I'll clean him. I'll take him home. I'll do anything that you want me to do. But do not take him because my kids need him. Again, I asked. I don't know, again, I did the right or the wrong thing because, again, Shukrana Malik, that Sanjeev it's 31 years since the accident, but he's still fine. Guru Maharaj is blessing him with so many lives, which I'll share in my, further satsangs. But I'm just saying how he changes all the results with Sanjeev. Again, it was me which had to break my ego, and he broke it later when I had to surrender to him. And I said, it's all you who decides. Guru Sahib again changed Sanjeev's results. Sanjeev was in the rehab we were in the hospital. We had the accident in July. In November, he went to the rehab. The next year, January 13th, we were flown back to New York. There was a lot of storms. Guru Sahib again blessed Sanjeev that he took off his ventilator. He was breathing on his own. I was still, I think I didn't think too much. And every time Sanjeev would blame that girl that who was driving our van, hit the car, and he said, she ruined my life. She ruined my daughter's life. Guru Sahib gave me that thought. I used to tell Sanjeev, I must have done something wrong with her. Maybe I killed her husband. Maybe I killed her child. Maybe I did something wrong to her in the past life. So she was just a source. You cannot blame her. It's all our karmas. I don't know where this thought came, how Guru Maharaj gave me that thought. Till today, me and Sanjeev, we always argue about that because he blames her. But I blame my karmas. I think I was a bad person in my past life. I was a bad wife. I was a bad daughter. I was a bad mother. I don't even know what I did wrong. But Guru Sahib is blessing, is holding our hands, blessing us with all his blessings. And this is how my journey started. This was my life after the accident when Guru Sahib was with me. He was blessing me. He was giving me the seva of taking care of Sanjeev, taking care of Shreya. He was trying to make me a better person, letting go of my ego, not even thinking about anything negative. The only thing I used to think was taking care of Sanjeev, Shreya, taking care of only them. I think he put blinders in front of me that this is all you have to do. Read Sai Satcharita, do the seva, take care of Manu, take care of Shreya, take care of Sanjeev. Sangaji, I had no clue. Papa, Mummy were there with me till August. And I don't even know, if I think back, I don't even know how I did it. I was kind of a person who would never even go for groceries alone. I never wrote a check in my life. I was spoiled in my life with my dad, from my dad. Then I was spoiled by my husband, who never let me do anything. I never worked, never drove car on the highways. Like, I was spoiled to an extent that I never even cooked for 5 years while I was married to Sanjeev. Every weekend I needed a vacation. Every weekend I used to be going out. But Guru Sahib knew that I have to change myself. I had to become more spiritual. I have to connect to God. I have to realize my surrounding, because it was like I was running away from myself. I used to be so busy. I didn't even have time to think. I wanted to be so tired till the night that I wouldn't sleep all night because I had to be turning Sanjeev with his, taking care of him, Shreya, Sanjeev. There was so much going on in my life, but Guru Sahib had kept me grounded. It's not a coincidence, because when we had this accident, I was telling Sanjeev that, Sanjeev, when you get better, we'll go to Shirdi Baba Mandir, because I was reading Sai Satcharita. We'll go to Shirdi Baba Mandir when you get better, because I was not willing to accept what had happened. So Sanjeev used to say, okay, can you believe it, Sangaji? 5 minutes away from my house, Shirdi Baba Mandir opened. What a coincidence. It cannot be a coincidence. Baba came to me very close to my house so that I could go to his mandir anytime I was feeling low, I was feeling disconnected. He had changed results of Sanjeev and Shreya. He even changed results of me, for me also. When I was in the accident, I had sacrum fracture, I had tailbone fracture, I had pelvic fracture, I had hip fracture. My whole lower body was connected into 4 pieces. I had very bad collarbone fracture. Glasses were in my eye, my head, because I was thrown out of the car on the ground. Nobody lives at 85, 95 miles an hour car driving, and you're thrown out of the car. Chances are very slim that you will survive. I had to do my whatever karmas I had to do. I had to become a better person. He was giving me another life so that I can do all my duties, my seva. So when I went to the hospital, when I was taking care of Sanjeev and Shreya in the hospital, doctors said I was on Percocet, 2 Percocet, 3 hours a day, every 3 hours. So the doctors told me, why don't you go to the doctor and get a follow-up? So I went to the doctor, went there for follow-up, and one of the doctors came. He looked at me after the x-rays and he, move your hands, move your feet. I was doing everything. I was on a walker and a wheelchair. I couldn't walk for 4 to 6 months. So I said, what happened, doctor? Doctor said, according to your x-rays, you're supposed to be paralyzed waist down because the way you had the injuries. But you're moving your hands. So Shukrana Malika, Shukrana, Shukrana, Shukrana Guru Sahib, that he blessed me. Again, he changed my results and he was blessing me with so much blessings that I cannot even, Shukrana is the smallest word in my life. Papa's sugar had gone up to 600, 700. Again, because of the stress. Papa was very young when we had this accident and he couldn't take the stress. His sugar had gone up so much. But again, Shukrana to Guru Sahib that it was controlled with the pills. He never had to take insulin. He blessed Papa. He was blessing Papa as Papa was given the seva of taking care of us. He was doing that, but he was blessing Papa with health, which he did until we lost Papa, until Papa went to Guru Sahib and he was 90. So, Sangaji, I will share the second part from here the next time because it's a very long, it's a continuation of Satsangs. So, Shukrana Malika to giving me, because this is one part of my life where the journey had just started. We had come home. And again, after this, there is so many blessings that I cannot say in one sitting. It has to be, in different satsangs. I'll have to share it. So Maafi Sangaji, again, because this is so much to absorb and so much to share. Shukrana Malika, Shukrana for keeping me in this seva. Shukrana Malik again, once again, for having me share my satsangs, because I know there is blessing in this. Every time he says, that's what I heard, that whenever you share, the person who listens is blessed. The person who is sharing is also blessed. So I guess we are all getting blessed by sharing and listening to the satsangs. So Shukrana, Shukrana, Shukrana Malik, Anantam Shukrana. I would say Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai, Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Maafi Sangaji if I said something wrong. Maafi Guruji if I said something wrong. So I'll see you soon in my next session. Jai Guruji.